This is Joe with joesastrophoto.com, and today I was hoping that you could help me edit some of my data. When I received my 294mm Pro, I wanted to go back and retake some of my images this winter that I took with the 1600 because of the micro lensing issue it had. I wanted to do some prints, and I just didn't like the way that some of the stars looked. So I decided that I was going to retake at least one target, and it was between Orion and Horsehead. And I decided that Horsehead was just a little bit higher in the sky. I only had a couple hours a night to work on this for about a week before it completely disappeared. And I managed to get the data I needed, or at least the majority of it. It could really use a lot more RGB data, but I think I've got enough to work with. And what happened is that the hydrogen alpha came out fantastic, and I had some issues with the luminance. I had a star outside of the field shine across the lens, and that's my own fault because I knew that I had that problem, and I didn't put on an extender on the dew shield, so that's my own fault. That's on me. Um, anyway, what I wanted to ask was if you could help me edit this image. I've got a couple edits and I wanted to show you and kind of lay out what I did and see if you can help me improve upon it. It came out decent. The problem is that the RGB looks really nice as far as the star color and everything, and the HA kind of caused some issues with the other data. The HA data itself came out really great. It was fantastic looking. On its own, it looks amazing. However, when I try and combine it with the RGB, it's just causing me a lot of little issues that I'm trying to overcome, and I was hoping that maybe you can help me. So any help would be greatly appreciated. I'll jump in and show you what I've got, and then if you want to leave comments and stuff, I'd just really appreciate the comments. So here's a quick overview of the masters that we have to work with. We'll start with blue, and it's 25 exposures at 90 seconds each with unity gain on the 294. You can make out some of the star reflection right here, but it's not too bad and it really doesn't show up when I combine the RGB data. Here's the green without any of the reflection, but it's really grainy and noisy. And again, it's only 25 sub-exposures at 90 seconds. And here's the red. It's pretty much the same as the green, with just the slightest hint of some star glow coming from the star. And then the luminance, which shows quite a bit of the star reflection glow coming from the star just over here. And it's not as clean as I would like it, but these are untouched masters. And the luminance has, I believe, 64 90-second sub-exposures. And then finally we have the hydrogen alpha. This is 34 10-minute sub-exposures, and I really like the way this came out. It's lots of detail, lots of the nebulosity. It can be seen throughout the entire image with little to no glow from the star over here. So I ran a linear fit using the hydrogen alpha as the reference image and then applying that to each of the other masters. And then I did an HaLRGB combination, and here's the image that came from the HaLRGB combination without the luminance, just the red, green, and blue. Next, I did a quick dynamic background extraction based on the sample points that you see here. I did division, and then I went back and I did subtraction. Finally, I ran an auto color which is basically a background neutralization and color calibration. And then I did a multi-scale linear transform, and this is the image that we have now. So this is red, green, and blue, color calibrated, and with the background noise kind of fixed. So here's our image after stretching, and here's the starless image after running Starnet. And you'll notice that it didn't get rid of these stars, and that's good. I didn't really want it to, and there's no ill effects on it in the RGB image. So here's the Starnet on the hydrogen alpha master, and you'll notice that, oops, going the wrong way. You'll notice that these stars have these boxes around them from the Starnet, and it's very unfortunate because I'm not able to do my normal processing where I remove the stars and then add in the hydrogen alpha as a luminance layer and then add the stars back in. I've tried it, and these definitely come out in the image. And I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that, other than it's a very bright star. You could see that it's made this little pattern here, and it really just doesn't know what to do with it. And if we look at the just the regular image with the stars, that's not present. Let me zoom in on Alnitalk, and actually with this 294mm, I really like what it did with Alnitalk. It looks cool. I don't know if this is something that is actually picking up the hydrogen alpha, if this is just a pattern in my telescope or my camera. I honestly don't know, and if you do, I would love to hear your explanation of this, but I think it's awesome. It just looks cool. It looks like it's picking up the radiation that star is pushing out, the electromagnetism of it, the electromagnetic, I should say, lines in the star. It's actually picking it up, and it's cool. I want to get it in my regular image, but unfortunately, I won't be able to get it to work using the Starnet, at least that I know of. Please feel free to add in the comments any suggestions. I also did one with the Create a Star Mask as well, and I get this star mask, and you could see that this star and this star both have that really weird artifact that I was getting over here as well. So, and it's done it here. So if you have any ideas, to be honest, I don't really use the star masks. I usually just get another image. So I'll clone an image like this over here, and then I'll take this into Photoshop and add the stars back in when I'm finished. And so I don't normally do the star mask. So again, there's another great example. If you've got ideas on how maybe I could incorporate the star mask to get rid of these or help with the processing, let me know in the comments. And finally, we've got the finished images between just RGB and the HaLRGB. And here's where my problem lies. In the RGB, I like the color of the stars. This looks like a natural star down here. It's nice and orange, and this star doesn't look bloated. And as you zoom in, you could even see that you could actually see that this is a double star up here. Let me move it over a little, and that there's two stars, one on top of the other. And in this image, it just looks blown out. See, it almost looks like just one star with a bad back focus. I also noticed that when I added in the HA, that the blue halos came about from my blue filter, and or maybe it was the red filter. It's hard to tell, but it's got a lot more halos. And then down here, you can also make out what it did, where it kind of lost the nebulosity of the star, where in the just the plain RGB, it's got this look to it, where it looks more natural. And in here, it just looks like a halo. And I don't know, it could be my filters. My RGB filters aren't the best in the world. They're kind of on the cheap side at the moment, but that's the data that I have to work with, so that's what I'm trying to get out of it. I like the colors more. What I ended up with in the colors when I added the RGB of the Flame Nebula, and then the detail in the nebula itself is just amazing, you know, in comparison to not having the HA. There's still some faint nebulosity that could be seen from the red channel up here, but when you actually take it with the hydrogen alpha, it just really pops out. You can see the same down in here. So what I did was I tried to combine these two into a third image, hoping that I can get a little bit of the nebulosity back in here and get rid of the green star and turn it back to normal. But if you notice, it's very grainy. I had to do a lot of work in the camera raw filter in Photoshop to try and combine these two. And not only is it grainy, but I've lost a lot of detail. As you could see in the nebulosity around here, you could see much more distinct gas clouds than you can in here. So I'm looking forward to everybody's opinion and their comments on how I can get pretty much this image to look correct. This has all the detail, but a lot of weird artifacts going on in it. Also on Alnatalk, I think that it's because the HA had those waves that I had showed you in just the HA master, and you can kind of see them in here. But I don't think that the processing knew what to do with them, as the RGB didn't have that, and so it just came out looking like this. But what I'd like to do is get all of the HA data into the RGB at not only as a luminance, but also as added data on the HA layer. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what others have to say and their comments and suggestions or ideas on how to improve this image. Like I say, the data is not perfect. I might not have enough data to get the image that I'm looking for, but I'd like to try with everybody's help. I think that together we could make this image look a lot nicer.